One thing that's interesting to me is I feel like there has been a shift in terms of how people strategize in fighting games in the modern era, which is that almost everybody plays them to do the fastest, best, cheap thing in this patch. It's very rare that people play the video game and try to think like long term what is useful, or can you strategize or improve little small details of matchups. It's almost always like, how do I find the strongest, most powerful, best thing in this version? And that is the thing I will run and do. And I think it's interesting because I'm split between two things. One, I need to pick the fastest, cheapest strat. And two, if I try to learn something that takes too long, that's not a fast, easy, cheap strat, then it will be patched by the time I'm comfortable and I have learned it. These games will be patched a bunch, and then a final patch will exist. And when that final patch exists, your skill set has to go from doing the cheapest, best thing to honing a game and really crafting and becoming the best in this version of the game long term. The mindset is very different from people I think who've played in other eras, especially because like modern games that are really popular change quite frequently. A game like League of Legends, right, will change constantly. Street Fighter gets patched once a year with a big patch or something, right? So if you want to change, you have to choose then. If you are playing a game that changes infrequently, like Strive, Strive has had a few big patches, right? But the last big patch was in October. You don't know if there's going to be a balance patch in May or June or something, and then another balance patch in like August, and then another one at the end of the year. Or it could just be that there's one balance patch for season 2 and then nothing. And you don't know what the patch is. Like a lot of people are saying, well, I'll just wait and Happy Chaos will get nerfed after the patch. But like, what if he doesn't? And also, even if he does get nerfed to some extent, trying to figure out and strategize against the character now will probably do two things. One, it will help you better prepare for if the character changes but isn't that much weaker, or if the character gets changed even, you still need to understand how to strategize and beat him. And the second thing is that it will teach you how to strategize and come up with better long-term ideas for beating other characters who will end up inevitably being strong in the next patch. I was thinking about this when I was watching the Zoomers rant in your call, Hotashi. I know your names. I'm just going to call you the Zoomers so that people don't bother you. In the call, the Zoomers were like, this Happy Chaos shit is pretty bad. And like, Soul, in hindsight, 1.0 Soul, maybe he wasn't even the best. And I was like, oh boy, see. And in hindsight, Happy Chaos this. And then in hindsight, the next character nerfed after Happy Chaos will be this. And then in hindsight, the next character this. And like, it just keeps going. Woo-hoo. That's what they said. When Happy Chaos came out, people thought he was trash. It turns out now he's like the best character. So, okay, what changed about his tools, right? Like, hold up, he was horrible. Remember when Soul was out, we all did not, nobody said like, Soul's in danger by running up to you and pressuring. Everybody was like, Soul runs at you and hits / and the game ends. That is it. The game is over. Don't you remember? 6S was pretty nasty, but we would have learned the IB. Are you telling me that the character was not as bad as everybody could have made it out to be if we learned to play the video game better? I'm not trying to hear it. If people say, oh, you don't interact with Happy Chaos, I mean, if you want to talk about interactions that are happening, right? Dash blocking and moving, and aren't those more options than when Soul hits you once or Nago hits you once and you die? Like, which is more interactions, right? Guessing wrong once against Nago and taking 80%, or dash blocking 8 gunshots? Like, Happy Chaos damage is also absurd, and Happy Chaos is very good. I'm not saying that he's not. I think you're doing plenty of interacting. You just don't fucking like the interactions you're being dealt, which neither do I. Getting shot to death fucking sucks. When 1.0 Soul was the best character, right? Even if he wasn't the best character, but he was. I told you guys, like, look, it's not so bad. We can deal with this, right? This character's good, but he's doing mids. We'll figure this out, right? Then the next patch, everybody's like, Nago this and Nago this. I'm like, guys, Nago's good, I get, but we don't need, he doesn't need to get nerfed, or like, it doesn't need to, we'll figure it out, right? Like, the character is what he is, and you have to come up with a strategy to stop him. The next patch comes out, and everybody's complaining about Ram. I'm like, look, the character, she is what she is, and her Rekka shit is so stupid, and I hate Ram Lethal, but the character is what it is, and you have to come up with strategies to beat it. Then Happy Chaos, like, I hate to break it to you, but it's the same spiel. He is what he is, and you have to come up with strategy and counterplay. And not short-term strategy, and you can't be doomer about it. You have to come up with long-term strategy to deal with the character that is reasonable and really think outside the box, besides, wow, his moves are real good. When Happy Chaos gets nerfed and the next patch comes out and insert X character here is the best character, I will tell you the same thing, which is it's not that bad. It's the same shit as before. There will always be that character, and at some point the patches will end, and when the patches end, that version of the game will be the version you just have to deal with. There's nothing you can do about it besides be frustrated and then come up with something better to do about it. You're allowed to be frustrated, of course, but this will happen. And if you think like, I'll just go play Street Fighter. Well, there's Luke just waiting for you. I'll just go play Dragon Ball. Well, there's 21 waiting for you. I'll just go play Tekken. Oh, there's Falcon waiting for you. Every game will have something powerful that people complain about, or even something that's not that powerful that people think is very annoying. It's going to be like this for every game. When DNF Duel comes out and everybody's pissed about Ghostblade being the best character, like, well, yeah. I played Legends of Runeterra. In every version of it, I hit Masters when I played Ranked. And in every version of the card game I played, people said the meta was worse than it has ever been. And the top decks were more annoying and more frustrating. And you know what I did? I just played the best cards I could. And I was like, yeah, that's just the deck. I'm going to play around the strong options it has. And this is my life. And I'll tell you what, none of it was always fine. Nothing's going to change about that, okay? So why are you writhing at the air, like why are you doing, like, you know, it's a waste of time, especially to be so doomer that you ruin the attitude of other people. That is the more important problem. When you see the melty players who are like, this game fucking sucks and Shield is dog shit, and like, I hate the RPS with Shield and this game's trash, Kamone's vision is ass. Do you want to play the game? Does that make you want to even care about the game? Doesn't that make you just be like, ugh, even if it's not that bad? I played Melty when it came out and I was like, I don't know if Shield's that bad. Like, it seems annoying. I don't like it that much right now, but I don't fucking know. I'm not a Melty Blood player. And then I read all the people saying that and I'm like, ooh, that dooming has really got to make some people pissed off. I wouldn't want to play your game if I saw that dooming. I'd be like, this game must, wow, that's how everybody acts. I'm good. We were talking about Happy Chaos earlier, and I saw this tweet on the timeline. Happy Chaos and Luke, huh? And Labcoat 21. It's actually so funny, no? The trio of these three characters really at the same time all rolled up to the club together in Happy Chaos's car, by the way. Who's got the aux cable in that group? It's gotta be Labcoat 21. Happy Chaos theme is better than the other two characters' theme. So, I mean, he should probably have the privilege. I got the max quote tweet, so I'm about to get all the condescending responses from people who don't compete in fighting games, talking about characters from other games being more busted. The classic. He says, my man has some words, and this isn't even the best character in this game. Yeah, maybe he just doesn't like Virgil, I guess. That's pretty funny, though. That is the thing, is when you get the max quote tweet, your mentions are ruined. There's just too many people. They say things like, you think Luke is bad? Well, you know, Iron Man has an infinite in Marvel too. And you're like, okay, thank you. This isn't the case where like a character came out and like it took some time to develop and then he was good. The day he came out, Filipino Man told me this character is broken. I could be wrong, but I think everything he does is ridiculous. And I was like, you think so? And he's like, yeah, I think this character is absurd and everybody's gonna play him. And like, it's very obvious they released him super powerful on purpose, right? Wouldn't it be sick if Street Fighter 6 comes out and then he's still the best character? It's one thing to release him in this game and let him just be completely ridiculous. But wouldn't it be tight if people just suffer against him for like a year and then they release Street Fighter 6 and he's the best again? And people are like, why? You just let this little motherfucker run around for a year or however long until the next game comes out. And then you're going to let him be so... I hope he's better in Street Fighter 6. It's not like he's a unique archetype that like changes the game in some weird way. It's like, what if you just gave him the best version of like most of the tools in the game? And unlike a versus game where you pick 3 characters, like it's just everybody's picking the best character who's just like the character with all of the good tools in one option. Like we'll make his jabs absurd, we'll make his mediums absurd, make his damage ridiculously high, give him wild ass fireball that's ridiculous, give him an uppercut, good advancing special moves like strong V triggers and like strong V skills. Yeah, it'll be good. And give him give him a shit ton of health, right? Like it's fine. And he looks ugly, which is maybe even more egregious. You're gonna cape for this character, like this is your dude. Ew. You look at this and you're like, oh man, this is my guy. He looks so cool. The guy with like star tattoos randomly on his body and like misshapen proportions and this Linguini looking hair. Look at his hair. Look at this strand. It's thin and flat like a noodle. The lightning bolt eyebrows. I mean, this guy's whack.
Listen.
Look, the discourse. 3 Kais, 2 souls, Ino winning the tournament. And there's no Happy Chaos. In fact, he was right there, right at the edge. Look at, where's all the Vanessas? And Terry's in top 8s. Where is he at? Look at Street Fighter. Look, where's all the Lukes? This must prove that all these games are actually not doing so bad and that the balance... Oh, my bad. There she is. Yeah, vanilla SSJ Vegeta. Yeah, my bad. Anyway,